Hey guys, so we're back again with another reading, and this one is all about surprises coming your way. So we're going to see what positive, happy things are headed in your direction. These are going to be things you're excited about, things that make you happy. So it's going to be a very positive reading. And today we have a beautiful selection of cards for you guys to choose from. And I am going to be blurring out the words on all of the cards so that you can make up your mind with your intuition and which image you feel drawn to and called to, not based on like which word looks more positive or anything like that. So as always, use your intuition to make your mind up, use your intuition to see where you feel drawn, and then as soon as you've made up your mind, scroll down to the timestamps in the comments in the description and jump right into your pile. I also want to mention to you guys that I do have my Patreon up with a ton of additional readings. As soon as you sign up, you get access to over 50 readings posted on there. And I just posted one all about how to improve and use your spiritual gifts to benefit the collective, how you can use and advance your spiritual gifts and really make them stronger. So it's a really good one, but as soon as you guys sign up, you will get access to all my readings. Like I said, I think we're about more than 55 at this point, so there's a lot to choose from, and they're about love, career, spirituality, family, friends, past lives, future life, relocation, so many different topics. So if you guys want to sign up for my Patreon, definitely check out the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and head on over there. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. So I would love to do a reading for you. And like I said, that link is briarrosetarot.com, and the link is in my description. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So for your pick a card, you guys got closure. And for your other cards, you got deep diver, diving into a task, winter's dream, gestation period, garden of Venus, rest and renewal, and fortune's wheel, luck and right timing. So some of you guys are going to be coming into a new era, I feel like, in your life, your romantic life, your social life. Maybe some of you guys have felt really hung up on an ex, or just in a period where you were kind of keeping to yourself, doing trauma work, maybe like hermit mode era. And I feel like you guys are going to be called into a more full and vivid life. Things are going to be happening for you socially. New relationships may be coming in, new romantic relationships that might take your mind off this ex. And some of you guys are going to have a lot more of an active social life. And I also feel like creatively, you guys are going to be super inspired. You're going to have almost like a new lease on life, or a joie de vivre. I think that's how you say it. You're going to have this inspiration and this excitement about what you're doing. So if you have been feeling really stagnant, stuck at your job, or just uninspired, this also could be like a side creative project, something that maybe you guys have been like thinking of working on, or maybe you wanted to do but you didn't have the time. You might be prioritizing that and really carving some serious time out to like focus on this aspect. So if you've had like an idea kind of banging around in your head that you wanted to start, like you wanted to start a knitting TikTok, or you wanted to write a book, or you wanted to start a painting, or anything creative, or try baking different stuff, you might have more time for that in your life, and you might have a lot more excitement and energy around this area. Or that could even be your 9-to-5 job, like whatever you're doing with your day and your work to make money. You might just have an invigorated feeling with that, some excitement, like you can't wait to start and you can't wait to get going. I feel like that's the major thing coming in overall for you guys, is more energy. And if you guys have been like not socializing, for sure that's going to get more energy as well. I feel like you guys are going to be wanting to be out there in the world a little bit more, wanting to explore, wanting to push yourself, and you might be meeting new people you really like and get along with. So you might have a new romantic relationship come in, or you might have a new friend group enter your life. But it just feels feels like your energy from the past of being like, oh, I feel under the weather, I don't really want to go out, I'm just kind of like sticking by myself, that is really starting to come to an end. And you have a lot more relationships coming your way, a lot more excitement, a lot more fun happening in your life. And yeah, like I said, I think just more energy. And you might really be surprised by some of this attention you're getting from others. I feel like it's kind of like you're just having people really look your way. A lot of people noticing you, a lot of people being like, wow, pile one looks really, really good. So you might even be changing your physical appearance or just kind of like glowing physically. Maybe you just look extra good, or you have, you have a vibe about you that people are just more drawn to at this time and people kind of can't get enough of. But again, a major thing coming through for a lot of you guys is this creative inspiration and this ability, I feel like, to really focus on whatever this is. Maybe you have more time to do it, or you have the mental wherewithal or the inspiration, but it's just like, I feel like what was stagnant in the past and something you were wanting to work on, wanting to give your energy to, now you have the space, the time, the energy to really give your all to it. Let's get into some of the tarot cards. So we got the Three of Wands, Seven of Cups reversed, Temperance, the Death card, and the World. So we have three major arcana cards. So that definitely means that this is a powerful time for you. And I feel like some of your old identity is really coming to an end with this Death card. It's coming to a natural ending, a natural transition into something new. And I feel like a lot of you guys are maybe even learning to have more balance in your life with kind of like, I feel like a lot of you guys have been in a very interior period. Maybe you have been spending time alone, spending time meditating, spending time thinking about things and getting downloads. And maybe that has even physically taken it out of you, or you have felt a little bit burned out because of that. And now I feel like you're transitioning into this period where you have more energy and you're able to really give your all to things. So you're not just having this interior creative inspiration, but you're actually really also having the energy, the the wherewithal, the excitement, the verb, kind of combining like fire and water energy as happens on the Temperance card. So it's like you're having this fire, inspiration, burst of life, excitement, desire for something, and then you have kind of the water introspective sign. But I feel like you're actually moving out of that watery energy into more of a fiery energy, into more of a bold energy. We also got the Three of Wands, so some of you guys might literally be moving, or you're just ready to fully launch this project. It's no longer in your head or something you're planning anymore. It's something you're actively doing and taking on, and something that I feel like another thing for some of you guys is if you've had anxiety, you're going to have less anxiety at this period. You're going to be not struggling as much with like, oh my God, how do I get, like, what do I do? Oh, I'm nervous. Like, I'm getting the vibe that some of you guys have even had anxiety to the point where maybe that's why you were staying inside, or maybe that's why you weren't going out as much. Maybe you were getting anxious over like small things like having to see someone, or, overthinking your work or whatever. And now you're in this energy of just really being bold and like having fun with it, almost like playing. You know how sometimes when you're at work, it can feel like you're playing, or it can feel like you're just like, you're in your element and you're just flowing and everything's going great and you're not self-conscious, you're not in your head about it. And then there's days where work just feels like a slog and you're just pushing yourself and you're like, oh, like I hate this, or I don't want to have to do this. And it feels like you're back to that really exciting place in your life. It feels like you're really starting to like make the most of things. Some of you guys might literally be going out more into like your physical environment and nature and stuff like that. And some of you guys might be being a lot more physically active. I'm seeing someone playing tennis, but you don't have to be doing that. But you might be like taking more time to spend outdoors, doing outdoorsy things, going for walks, going for hikes. And for some of you guys, it's going to be doing things like eating outdoors, like going to an outdoor sidewalk cafe. But it's almost like this fear or this anxiety that you've been dealing with, this sense of like, kind of I just want to hide away inside. I just don't want to do any of this. That is really leaving. And I think you guys are realizing how much fun the world can be and how much you want to be out there experiencing things. Maybe you have had anxiety about like, gee, like if I go out, this is going to happen. Or if I have relationships with people, that's going to happen. This person's going to judge me, or this person's going to be super mean to me. Or maybe you've been heartbroken to a certain extent. With this closure, it might not even have to do with old relationships. It might have to do with like old friendships or someone that really hurt you. They might have even caused you, I'm hearing PTSD in my mind. It doesn't have to be that serious, but it might have been someone that really did a number on you, or multiple situations that just made you feel like knocked down and out. Like, oh, I just, you know what, if I let this person get close to me, they're just gonna hurt me. Or I've had all these people who have been really mean to me, so I'm just gonna like avoid friendships. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to be in a relationship. I feel like that's the vibe, the energy that some of you guys have been in. It's just kind of like keeping your distance. And I do feel like that is really kind of coming to an end with this winter's dream card. You know, it kind of shows someone, to me, the vibe is like hibernation. Also, gestation has to do with periods. I mean, kind of, I guess, but pregnancy specifically. I guess periods are somewhat related to pregnancy. But anyway, but yeah, gestation period is like, I'm hiding away. I'm like letting this baby form itself inside me. It's not ready to come out yet. And it's kind of like in that third trimester of pregnancy where you would like be alone in your room, or you're on bed rest or something, and you're not like out and about and like going out drinking with your pals. I mean, hopefully not. You are probably laying in bed and like eating bonbons, and hopefully your partner is taking really good care of you, or whatever situation you have for yourself, but you're kind of on rest and you're kind of hiding away from the world and keeping yourself safe as you usher in this new period, usher in this new life. And I feel like, then you guys are at the point where like you're ready to let this baby out and you're ready to enter into life again and to kind of come out of hibernation mode and let the kind of cold thaw and come into like spring, summer energy where you're out in the world. Like in winter, obviously we kind of hide away, we hide inside, it's cold outside, so we keep ourselves warm and cozy, and maybe we do indoor things and we're kind of away from the world. And then in spring, summer, we're out there, we're talking to people, we're out in nature. And that's the vibe I feel like for your life, is your confidence is coming back as well. You guys are getting a lot more confident. You guys are coming to a place where I feel like you're not as easily thrown off. If someone's mad at you, or if someone is rude to you in a shop, or if someone is, a little bit standoffish with you, you're coming to a place where you're like, okay, anyway, and on to the next. And I think you're really learning to have that inner strength, that inner core of like resilience. And this is what's going to actually free you, because it allows you to focus on what you like. That's why I really do love the Three of Wands. It's probably one of my favorite cards in the tarot, even though it might not be one of the most like grandiose in some ways. But to me, it's that beautiful, exciting period where you're just ready to embark on a new endeavor. You've planned things, you've had a lot of things leading up to this moment, and now you're ready to embark. You can see his ship is coming in now. It's like right there. He's ready to leave. He's probably a little nervous. He's probably a little scared. Like, okay, I'm sailing wherever. I mean, back in the day when you'd sail on these kinds of ships, it was really dangerous. I actually like have read a lot about pirates and life on the seas back then, and it was like hell. Like so many people would get scurvy and the ships were really awful. But he's ready and he's bold because he wants to get to this new destination. And I feel like that's the vibe for you guys, is like you are ready to embark. You are ready to make things happen, and you're not as afraid as you used to be. I feel like you have this inner core of strength, and some of you guys are going to make major changes coming up. You might feel called to make a move. You might feel called to really pivot when it comes to your career, or bring in something new, like start a side hustle, or start like maybe you have been thinking of starting a TikTok and you finally take the jump, or maybe you were doing a TikTok and now you're like, I kind of want to pivot my content, but I don't want people to be upset with me. And now you're like, I'm pivoting, I'm doing it. I'm going to show myself more of what I like of this aspect of myself. But I feel like there's this excitement and there's this bravery and there's this like, I can do whatever I want attitude that you guys are really giving off that I think is going to really make you make this a success, whatever this is. Like, I think sometimes, there's a phrase like the folly of youth. And, when you think about, I think a lot of people will say, like, oh my God, when they're an older success or something, like an older actor or something, they'll be like, I literally can't believe I did this, but I literally moved to LA with, $50 in my pocket and I somehow made it work. And like, I would never do that today. Like, I can't believe it. It's so dangerous. I can't believe that I had the balls to like go from Kentucky to LA on $50 and just risk it all. But, that's the thing is like, that's why I think that youthful energy can be so invigorating, that kind of Aries energy, that burst of life and not really being nervous and just doing it, that fire sign energy ends up a lot of times being a big success is because you're just so convinced of yourself. You have that boldness, you have that confidence that you're not second guessing. And I feel like if there's one message to you guys, it would be to really lean into that confidence and to not be like double checking yourself or wondering if you can do it or thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough for this, but to really just like allow this to happen. And if you are feeling called to do it, to stop second guessing yourself and to stop being like, geez, like, but this risk and this could go bad. And what if this happens? But to just be like, I feel excitement around this. This feels positive to me. I'm freaking doing it. I can't wait. And just being bold and assertive with this, I feel like is going to be really amazing for you guys. Yeah, and this could also have to do with relationships because I feel like with a lot of you guys, maybe this is something that comes up in relationships as well. Like when you're dating, you might start off like, oh yeah, I like this person, they're cute, or we matched on a dating app, or yeah, there's this guy trying to talk to me, at the coffee shop I always go to, like he works there and he's really cute and he's kind of hit on me. But then it's almost like the logical brain turns on and then we start thinking of all the times we got hurt in the past, or the guy that ghosted us, or the ex-boyfriend that lied to us, or the ex-girlfriend that was mean, or whatever the case may be. And then that initial excitement kind of peters out into like this just dread and this convincing yourself of like, well, I'm not going to get emotionally invested. Well, you know what? It doesn't even matter. If it doesn't work out, I'll be fine. You know what? He didn't text me back right away, so I'm not even going to respond. And it's kind of like, why not just let the magic happen? And if it burns out and it stinks and it's a bad relationship, at least you have a fun story to tell. Obviously, I'm never encouraging anyone to put themselves in serious risk. And if there's major red flags or if there's someone who's treating you badly, by all means, listen. But in a way, like Venus is debilitated in Virgo for a reason. And that's because Virgo can be that overly critical, self-monitoring energy that's always like, oh, this little flaw, that little bad thing. And Virgo is very safe. There's a lot of value in that. Like Mercury's exalted in Virgo. It's a great thinking energy, but when it comes to love, we're supposed to feel. And that's why Venus is exalted in Pisces, which is all about the feelings and the vibes, and it's very high trusting energy. So that's the thing is when it comes to love, when it comes to bringing things into our life, a lot of times we have to go in with like a positive vibe, a trusting vibe, seeing the best and just allowing things to happen. And even if it doesn't work out, even if it's not perfect, it'll be a great story, right? It'll be a fun experience. It'll be something to look back on and reminisce on and be like, oh, that was great. So, maybe this is a message for some of you guys just to not overthink in whatever area of life this is, whether it's romantic relationships, whether it's your career, just to keep yourselves positive and kind of focus on what could go right. Like instead of thinking about what could go wrong, maybe ask yourself, what could go wrong? Like, I love that. There's a quote that Spirit just popped into my mind, and it's like, well, what if it goes wrong? And someone says like, well, I guess I just literally said that, but it's like, what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does? You know what I mean? That kind of mindset shift of thinking of how things could flourish and how things could go so great and how things could be so positive. This is why I always mention, that Pisces also is, the wealthiest sign year after year and has so many billionaires. And the reason why I think people are really shocked, they always think it's going to be, the harder working signs. But Pisces is super optimistic. It's ruled by Jupiter in ancient astrology. It tends to really see the good, which a lot of people say we're delusional because of that, which may be true. But there is something to be said for just being delusional and just being like, this is going to be great. This is going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait. This is going to be so positive. And that literally can kind of alchemize and change the energy and shift it from something that maybe it would have been negative, but now it's positive. And now we're seeing the best. Kind of like, it's interesting how much like I'm thinking of beauty standards and how much those have changed. Or even like the Mona Lisa. Spirit is showing me the Mona Lisa so strong in my mind. And I've seen the Mona Lisa in person. And I feel like most people who go see the Mona Lisa, and I had the same reaction, you're like, wow, it's really small. You can barely kind of get that close. And your reaction is kind of like, like, okay, yeah, it's good and it's beautiful, but it's like there's so many other beautiful paintings in the Louvre, so you're kind of like, well, okay, that's like the best, most famous painting of all time. Why is it considered so beautiful? Well, it's because like probably that discourse started. Most people who are queuing to see the Mona Lisa, they probably don't know a thing about paintings and art history or anything like that, right? They don't really know too much about paintings, but they have been told that the Mona Lisa is the most beautiful, most incredible painting in the world. And so it becomes valuable because of that, right? And this happens a lot in the art world. Some artists will become famous in some way, and suddenly their art will start selling for hundreds of thousands or millions, or if you're a really top artists like Jeff Koons or something for like 40 million minimum, And so that's the thing is like someone else might be doing something really similar or something really cool or something really good. But because we don't ascribe value to it, because we don't have this discourse about like, oh my God, it's so amazing, no one really cares. And my point in all that is like, sometimes our mindset, the way we view something, the way we look at it, your mindset going in to see the Louvre and being like, I get to see the Mona Lisa. It's freaking amazing. It's the best painting ever. And then queuing up and seeing a massive crowd around it and seeing everyone waiting to see it. And then everyone, having like stuff in the gift shop that says the Mona Lisa and has it on it, it changes your mindset. And when you go into like a museum, like, oh, this is valuable art. But meanwhile, sometimes they find paintings that were like old master paintings that randomly get sold at a garage sale, and the person doesn't know it has value. They don't know their art. So they're just like, yeah, it's a pretty painting of the sea or whatever. And then someone who actually knows their stuff comes in and is like, oh my God, and buys it for like $2 and then sells it for $10 million because they know its value. And the actual painting didn't change, right? It's the value you ascribe to it. So maybe this is a message for some of you guys just to be more positive in your daily life. And just when you're thinking about like what could happen, or I want to date this person, but I'm not sure, or I have an idea, but maybe it's not, that's a stupid idea. No one would want to watch a TikTok like that. Or that's a stupid idea for a YouTube channel. Or like, no, I don't think I shouldn't ask for that much for my salary from my boss, because like, who would pay me that much? Even changing your mindset to be like, you know what, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. I know they're going to give me this raise. I know this is going to do so well. I know that everyone's going to love this TikTok channel. I know that this has value, and allowing yourself to feel that excitement, especially I think in relationships for a lot of you guys, is going to be really key. And I think allow you to experience all the potential that this has. So I was just like kind of freestyling, but we have some other cards. We got beauty, I was just channeling, and then fertility and happiness. So that's really interesting that we have two cards that do allude to pregnancy. So definitely if you guys have been wanting to get pregnant, you could get pregnant. And I do feel like, again, there's that message of like, stay really positive and don't allow yourself to get down in the dumps about like numbers or statistics or what other people say. Whatever area this is that you're trying to bring in, start assuming the best. I feel like pile one, this is your message to like say, I'm going to do it. And also I think doing things to put yourself in a high vibe mode. Like I know for me, there are days like recently I was actually sick. That's why I took a little bit of a break from filming. And you can still kind of hear it in my voice. I'm not fully healed, but obviously I was sick, so I had to stay inside and rest. And it was so funny how I started getting down in the dumps a little bit. And then I was like, okay, like I was out of food, so I had to go walk to grab, groceries or whatever. So I walked around and saw all the beauty of, summer, and was talking with people and chatting. Some lady like wanted to chat with me randomly on the street. She was really nice. And it was like it completely changed the vibe. People were sitting outside at like sidewalk cafes and eating, and it just put me in such like a positive vibe. And whatever it's not like I was like seriously depressed, but when I was kind of like feeling a little negative or down in the dumps earlier, it was like because I literally hadn't been able to leave my apartment. And then as soon as I was able to go out and get some sun and enjoy and have, a little bit of a walk and stuff, it was like my mood automatically went back to 10. And that's the thing is I think like finding things that put you in that high vibe mindset, finding things that put you in a happy, joyful feeling is going to be so key and crucial for you guys. And I feel like if you guys can do that and literally seeking out whatever makes you feel good, like if you want to go on a date with a cute guy and then your friend is like, yeah, but I blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but the last guy you dated was really like, he wasn't really nice. And I think just do things that allow yourself to focus on the positive, whatever that is. Seek that out so strongly, pile one, because I feel like you're aligning yourself with a new destiny. You're aligning yourself with something really fresh and brand new. But I also feel like you guys need to make sure you're pushing yourself a little bit on this, making sure that you're taking the conscious steps, because I just feel like sometimes you guys get really scared or you overthink or you get anxious and you tend to be like, yeah, but that's not going to work out. Or like, yeah, I've always wanted to write, but you know what? I'm not that good. It's not going to turn out great. I'm not even going to do anything. And so it's like there's so many missed opportunities that I feel like sometimes happen because I don't think you guys acknowledge how special and talented you are. And it is worth noting that we got the world card, and one of the meanings of the world card can talk about social media or just worldwide acclaim or having people notice you, getting attention. So there's a very strong vibe for you guys that you definitely have the potential to bring people in, to make people notice you, and to get people's attention. And I think that's something that, like I said, you should really seek out and you should really gravitate yourself towards. I feel like a lot of it's almost like there's so many people. I don't think you realize, pal one, that so many people are drawn to you. So many people really like you, and you have so much potential to bring in whatever life you want. Like you really do. You're a very special person, pile one. And I think you guys need to push yourself a little bit more to be more optimistic. Maybe you had parents who like said negative words to you, or maybe you had people in your life that put you down or were like, oh, that's cringe. Maybe you had hating friends that were jealous of you and put negativity in your mind and wanted you to doubt yourself and wanted you to question yourself and feel lack of self-worth. But either way, it's up to you to shift this energy into a positive place. Know your worth, know how beautiful you guys are, and look at this beautiful lady. She just looks so gorgeous and feminine with her figure here. Maybe you've even been feeling bad about your physical appearance, and Spirit wants to remind you to rock, your appearance and how beautiful it is. I love she has some feminine curves in this. So maybe some of you guys have been like, oh, I just don't feel confident or whatever. And Spirit is like, hello, you're freaking gorgeous. And you need to lean into it. You need to show yourself more. You need to allow, because it's kind of like, I think sometimes when I do private readings, someone will be like, oh, I really want a husband. And I'm like, okay, but they're saying you never leave your house, or they're saying you just go to work and come home. And, and a lot of times people are like, yeah, and I totally get it. Like we can all fall into those patterns, but it's so funny because to make magic happen in any area of your life, it's kind of like you have to have an open vessel. You can't expect a vessel to be filled when it's closed. You can't put the bottle on a jug and then be like, Spirit, fill this up for me. Or you can't put the top on a bottle or a jug and expect Spirit to fill it up with you. You have to open it. You have to allow things to start flowing in. So that means if you want to start dating, you got to get some flow in that area of your life, whether you're going out, whether you're talking to people out at a bar, or whether you're just online dating or even using a matchmaker. But you got to be open, and you got to be energetically open. You got to be open to talking to people. You got to, really like listen to them in conversation and not just have a loop in your mind of like, yeah, he sounds like my ex who cheated. Not to say you should blow past red flags, but like really allowing things to flow with you. You know what I mean? And by the same token, if you want to do something with your career, you got to be putting energy into it. You can't be like, oh, I really hope I can be a best-selling author and then never actually type anything. Like that's probably not going to happen, right? So be positive, be optimistic. And I think the vibe or the energy for you guys is to really lean in, push yourself, and like I said, allow things to flow for you, because I think you have such a special energy, pile one. And I think your guides really want to give you these blessings, but sometimes you block them off a little bit and you kind of don't open yourself up fully. And you're not allowing this beautiful magic to flow for you that I feel like your guides, angels, ancestors, spirit really want to bring into your life. So anyways, I think that's what I have for you, pile one. Let me know how it resonates in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. I always want to know what you have going on. So definitely let me know what you think of this reading down in the comments. And also make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, and make sure to subscribe. Turn those notifications on by hitting that little bell so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon. Link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description. And you can sign up to get access to all my additional readings. I think I have about 55 now, so there's a lot. And I just posted one all about how you can improve your spiritual gifts and allow your spiritual gifts to serve the collective more, how you can improve them and use them more. So that's a really good one. If you want to see that, then like I said, head to my Patreon. But as soon as you sign up, you get access to all my additional readings about love, spirituality, career, relocation, so many different topics. So I would love to see you over there. Like I said, the Patreon link is underneath the timestamps. And if you guys want to get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. And you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. You can have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively. And you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session, pre-recorded or live reading. There's lots of options to choose from. And we get to talk about pretty much whatever you want within reason. So if you guys want to get a reading with me, like I said, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back very soon for another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey pile 2, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked this clarity card, this is going to be your reading. So for your other cards, you guys got the crossing, initiation, woodwives, adaptability, me talks, repairing the body, mind, spirit, Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain, and netcaster preparations come to fruition. So the first thing I'm getting is your reputation is really changing rapidly in the eyes of others. People are starting to give you a lot more respect and see you for who you are. And I feel like part of this change has come from inside of you. A lot of you guys aren't putting up with some of the same BS you used to. I'm hearing the phrase won't take no for an answer. So I feel like you guys are becoming a lot more bold, and there has been something that has really caused you to change the level of disrespect you tolerate from others and how you allow someone to approach you or enter into your life. I feel like you guys are getting more discerning, and you guys are starting to not really accept if someone isn't for you or might have bad intentions or be, trying to be passive aggressive or make a joke at your expense or something like that. You guys are starting starting to really put your foot down and remind yourself of your own self-worth and what you deserve. So you're seeing these situations a lot more clearly. And I feel like people are starting to see that you're not putting up with this behavior anymore. And you might find yourself attracting brand new friends and relationships with people who really value you and see your worth in a way they never have before. So maybe in the past, you always felt like there was a mild level of disrespect in your friendships or in your relationships, and it was just something that kept happening. And now you're going to be amazed when you're surrounded by people who really get you, understand you, and like I said, treat you with a whole lot of respect. I feel like you're surrounded by people now who kind of look up to you. They really admire you. They see you with almost rose-colored glasses. So instead of seeing your flaws, they actually see all your positives. They might even be blind to any flaws and just be like, oh my gosh, pile 2 is perfect. But I feel like this is going to be really nice for you because some of you guys are learning and stepping into this energy of self-worth in a way that you just didn't have it before. Maybe in the past you would overextend yourself or not have proper boundaries. And I feel like now you are more empowered than ever before. And you're also learning to trust your judgment. Some of you guys might be improving your psychic abilities and your intuition with people, and you're becoming more trusting of those impressions and those vibes you get from spirit. So whereas in the past you might have dismissed it if like you got a weird vibe from someone or they seemed kind of like just acting weird, you'd be like, well, you know, maybe they had a bad day. Well, it's not that bad. Now you're listening and you're paying attention. You're like, okay, yep, I see that. You know what? Let me distance myself now. And so some of you guys are really putting up boundaries, or you might even be learning to speak better or like even more harshly. Like your literal tone of voice might be changing, your actual vocal inflection, your like bass or whatever tone in your voice is changing and becoming stronger and becoming more powerful. And I feel like, you know, you're less willing to like put up with BS. What spirit is bringing to my mind is like, I noticed even when I started on YouTube, I feel like a lot of people go through this where like you listen back to your voice and you're like, oh my gosh. And then it kind of worked to like not sound as nasally, I guess. And then after that, it kind of stuck, but it was like a learning process. And I remember early on, I was kind of like on the phone with someone and I didn't feel like they were really treating me with a whole lot of respect. And then I was like, you know what, let me try putting on my like YouTube voice where I'm like just more aware of how I'm speaking, you know, and I'm trying to enunciate and I'm like speaking more clearly. So I tried to do that and it was so crazy because the person got back on the phone and they were like way more respectful and they were like, oh, absolutely, let me get that for you. And I was like, wow, that's really wild how much like a vocal change, because it's not like I was completely like altering my voice. I was just trying to, like I said, enunciate more clearly and maybe speak a little less nasally or whatever. I don't even remember what I had to change, but I had just been listening to my YouTube videos and I was like, I think this sounds like, let me try to enunciate this. Let me try to speak a little different there. And so it's still my voice, but it was just like more authority there. You know what I mean? And it's so funny how effectively it did work. And sometimes I think that's all it is like just stepping into your authority. You know what I mean? Really stepping into your own gravitas that already exists, but sometimes we hold it back. We don't want to come across as like demanding, or we don't want to come across as like, oh, you think you're better than me in our friend group. So sometimes we let someone walk all over us, or we let someone boss us around, and now it's like, nope, no sir, no ma'am, I'm not going to let you do that to me. So some of you guys might even be cutting off certain friendships, but I feel like a lot of the good surprises is welcoming in new friendships and being amazed at how good these friendships and new relationships can be, and just being like, wow, this is totally worth the wait. This is totally worth whatever I had to sacrifice or get rid of, because now I can see these situations clearly. And you might even find yourself changing tracks in life, like deciding to move out of, like if you were at college and you were majoring in mathematics and being like, you know what, I feel really called to major in English. That's always been my passion, is writing. And even though I always thought I would do math because it's a better income like tract, or, you know, it's a better degree to have when it comes to applying for jobs, I'm going to do English because I feel connected to that. And you never know how it might come in handy, right? Like, I think it's so funny how judgmental people can be of certain careers, like, or degrees, like liberal arts degrees, and they can be like so sneering about it. I was a philosophy major, and the number of times people would make the joke, which is like the standard joke, which is, what does the philosophy major say? And the answer is, the punchline is, do you want fries with that? Implying that there's really no point in getting a philosophy degree because you're going to be ending up working at like a fast food joint. And I can't tell you the number of people that actually told me that joke to my face. But it's so funny because I feel like I kind of use that thinking with my, YouTube. So you never really know how something might affect things, or if you feel called to do something, maybe it doesn't make sense to you now. Maybe you're like, how would this work? Why would I do this? Why would I major in English? And then later on, you're supposed to write a book, or you're supposed to use it for some other reason, or you do YouTube and you write out what you're going to say and then you read that, out loud. But who knows? You never really know. And if you feel called deep from within your soul to pursue something, I honestly think that's something you should do. That is your calling. That is you being guided towards it. So maybe you're going to get clarity as well with like your life purpose, with your destiny, or you're going to feel like, I thought I wanted to do this and now I recognize this aspect of myself. But it almost feels like putting your foot down energy. Like there's something going on in your life where you're just like, nope, I can't do this anymore. I am leaving. And I just heard the song by Elton John where he's like, I'm still standing. I feel like some of you guys have had people really come against you, haters and snipers from the side, and people that don't have your best interest at heart, people that kind of wanted to bring you down. And I feel like that was really draining and hard for you to deal with. And I do feel like a lot of you guys, you're kind of like coming back with strength now. If you were in a really sad era where you were just like drained and feeling really upset about it and kind of moping, not that there's anything wrong with that, but this guy's like crying and he needs some alone time to process, you might be coming out of this painful period into a like, let's fight, like kind of period. Like, okay, now I process all that pain and now I'm mad and now I'm going to do something about it. But I do feel like a lot of you guys are like heading into this empowered energy where you realize you are the master of your own destiny and that you're not going to take any more BS from anyone. Let's get into some tarot. So we got Queen of Wands. Isn't that the perfect energy for this empowered vibe I'm picking up on? Wow, so perfect. Then we got the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Cups, Two of Wands reversed, and the Eight of Pentacles. So like I was saying, with the Queen of Wands, literally the perfect energy for this, because the Queen of Wands doesn't tolerate any BS. She's definitely the feistiest of the Queen cards, and she definitely is the most empowered and the most aware of her kind of worth. I mean, all the Queen cards know their worth, but I feel like with the Queen of Wands, you really need to approach her correct, and you need to really like pay her respect, because she's not tolerating any less than that. So if you sometimes maybe even used to get nervous about like confronting someone or standing up for yourself or saying something, now you're in a place where you're like, I'm going to say it and I have no qualms about saying this, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think and exactly how I feel about this. And don't even think for one moment that you can, treat me badly or go behind my back or whatever. I am going to do that. And I feel like in a way, letting go of some of these expectations that others have for you, or I'm hearing people trying to put you in a box. So maybe people, sometimes that can happen in like family structures or just friend groups where like we really feel comfortable limiting someone, putting them in a certain box or in a certain group, kind of like, oh, they're the funny one and they're the party girl and they're the smart one and they're the mom of the group. And it's not even like we're doing it to be mean, but sometimes it can be really limiting. If you get cast as the party girl, but you're really smart and you like to read and you're like this, yeah, I love that everyone knows I'm fun, but at the same time, when you laugh, when I'm telling you that I'm reading like an intellectual book, it's kind of insulting. You might be just throwing off those shackles of other people's expectations from you. Because I honestly believe one of the most limiting things in life can be people's expectations of you. And I know so much of the time during private readings when I talk to people, maybe they do feel called to do a certain thing, go a certain place, try something, but then that voice comes on in their head. What is someone going to think of me? What is that person going to say? What is my family going to think? I could never do that, because if I did, like, I'd be so embarrassed if it didn't work out. I'd be so embarrassed if I always wanted to start a YouTube, but if it didn't go anywhere, I'd be so humiliated. Or I really want to like move to this place, but my whole family is here and they're gonna like be so mad if I move. And the thing is, it's your one life. I love that quote by Mary Oliver, I think, where she says, "What will you do with your one wild and precious life?" Such an amazing quote. And I think that that's really the question we all have to contend with in life. This is like the philosophy major side, right, of me coming out. But I mean, honestly, that is the ultimate question of life and of philosophy is what are you going to do with your life? And what are you going to do with this relatively limited time we have on this planet? I mean, we do get multiple lifetimes, I believe, but there is a long waiting list to get onto this planet. It is so special and we're so lucky to be alive. And so what are we going to do? And we need to make sure that whatever we choose, because it's okay to choose this or that or whatever. There's no one perfect way to live life and then that's wrong and that's wrong. The only wrong thing is for us individually. It's kind of like I always compare it to like going into an ice cream shop and you can get mint chip or you can get orange sherbet or you can get rocky road or you can get cookies and cream. There's no wrong answer. But if you really hate, like me, orange sherbet, and I would never order that in a million years, and I always stick with the chocolatey vanilla choices. Ideally, like I love like Moose Tracks and stuff that's like chocolate vanilla icing ice cream with like chocolate mix-ins, like stracciatella or just chocolate chip ice cream. That's my fave. So I'm going to be pretty miserable if I'm eating lime sherbet. Even though I might be like, yeah, this is good. I'm going to be like, where's the chocolate mix-ins? Where's the little peanut butter cups? And where's the little nut bites and the vanilla? And, that's what I want. And by the same token, if someone really likes lime green sherbet, they're probably not going to be super happy at eating like peanut butter crunch with me. So my point is, there's no wrong answer for how to live your life on this planet, but you better dang well make sure that that's what you want for yourself and that you're on the right path for yourself. And if you're on the wrong path, which, this is actually perfect with the Two of Wands reverse now that I look at it. Literally, it's reverse and there's this path and maybe he's going the wrong way. So it's not to say you guys are on the wrong path, but if there ever comes a point where you're like, I got to course correct. This isn't what I really wanted. Yeah, I thought I wanted this, but no, this isn't working for me. Then that's totally fine. But you want to figure out what that is and you want to like get back to wherever you were supposed to go and do that really quick, as quickly as possible. And you want to make sure you're seeing situations clearly as well with this Eight of Swords and being honest with yourself about what you want. Because I think sometimes people also get embarrassed to say what they want. Like maybe they do want a relationship, but they're feeling embarrassed that they haven't dated yet or that they haven't been in a relationship for a while. So instead they say, I love being single. No, I love it. I don't want a relationship. Oh my God, like men are trash or whatever, which, I'm not judging. But the thing is if you want that relationship, then that's probably not the wisest thing to put out into the universe. And if you don't really want a relationship, but your family is pressuring you to get married, then it's definitely really unwise. As someone who used to work in like family law and had to help a lot of people get divorces, then it's really unwise to get married just to tick off that box so you can tell your like family and friends like, oh my God, I got married, yay, and get that approval from them. Because I guarantee that approval at the end of the day isn't going to make you happy when you're laying in bed trying to drift off to sleep and thinking of what could have been or old relationships. And I will say in private readings, I get a lot of married women and they ask me about, other people. And so I'm not saying, like, I'm no judgment, but I do think that, sometimes marriage or things that people get promised as like the good thing, it's not always what makes them happy. And again, there's no wrong answer. For some people, marriage is exactly perfect for them, but it should probably be towards the right person. And for some people, being single is exactly what they want, but you want to figure what that is for you. And you want to make sure you're really listening to your intuition and you're not rushing into a situation because, oh, I hope this person approves of me, or I hope that person thinks I'm cool, or I hope that, like everyone from my high school gets to see me being a big success, or everyone from my high school doesn't think I'm cringe. So you might really want to be an actress, but you're afraid that everyone from your high school is going to be like, what a loser. They moved to LA and they're auditioning and like, oh my God, that's cringe. They haven't been casted in anything. They were in a commercial. But like maybe that's the path that you have to be on to reach the roles you want, you know? And so my point is the worst thing you can do is to listen to what everyone else thinks of you. And the best thing you can do is to have tunnel vision and think about what you want. And with this Knight of Cups, I think that's another message with the Knight of Cups is, you know, this is someone who's actively pursuing. All the Knights are actively pursuing, so are the Pages, but the Knights are a little more strategic, what they really want. And with the Cups, you know, that is emotional energy, fulfillment, that's creativity, that's kind of your deepest soul urging. You know what I mean? Cups are a very spiritual card. So it's kind of like what you feel drawn to, what you feel intuitively attached to, what you can't stop thinking about, you know, whereas some of the other cards are more logical or more responsibility oriented. Air is more logical and mental. And then, you know, or Pentacles are very responsibility and like, I should do this, I have to do this, and I need to pay these bills. And then Fire is kind of more chaotic. You know, it's like, oh, I want this right now in this moment. And Cups are very like, my soul is calling me to this. I feel deeply attuned to this. And I feel psychically, I just can't stop thinking about it. It's deep in my heart and my soul. And so whatever that is, it's up to you to really think on it, meditate, get into your head, get into, you know, meditation or whatever it takes for you to realize what is right for your soul, and then take the active steps towards it, because the Knight is taking active steps as well. So whatever this is, I feel like some of you guys are really leaving behind old structures, old limitations, and you're stopping to care as much about what other people are saying about you. And if that's what you've been doing lately, this is just Spirit confirming that you are on the right track with that and that you're doing exactly what you should do. And I feel like it's further encouragement of like, keep going, move ahead with this, because there might be a lot of potential there and it's going to feel risky. I mean, I think there's like a Facebook group that's called, I think it's very iconic, everyone knows about this, but there's a Facebook group called Lady Gaga You Will Never Be Famous, that some of the kids at her high school made, about how cringe they found her because she wanted to be famous so desperately, but she didn't care. So when you have success, there's always going to be a level of people being like, that's cringe, that's lame, because, you know, there's just haters all the time. And that's why I always say that quote from T-Pain, and if they hate, let them hate and watch the money pile up, because it's like, you know, whatever it is, people are going to be hating on you whenever you're doing something special, new. And the only L you can take, the only actual loss you can take, is when you let them live rent-free in your mind, and when you're getting ready to try something and you're all excited for it, then you let their voices enter into your head of like, that was so lame, did you see when she blah blah blah, and you let that actually guide you. What you should do is just, you know, live as freely as you possibly can and assure yourself, and this is true, that the right people will find you. The people who get you and like you will find you when you're acting out of a place of authenticity. So if there's something you guys have been thinking about taking a risk, or something that you've been holding yourself back on, or something that you've been feeling really called to do, this is definitely confirmation that this is time for you. So we pulled a bunch of cards for you guys actually for the next stage, way more than pile one got, but I just felt called to do it. I don't remember what they are, but let me see. New beginnings, life purpose, empowerment, confidence, and freedom. So perfect. And the funniest thing is, I had also pulled this, but I was like, this is way too many cards. And now it makes so much sense as we've channeled for this reading. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use this, but I feel like I was going to put it back in the deck, because I was like, I can't do like 6 cards. Pile one got 3. But then I was like, I just really, really feel called that I'll leave it on the side, and if I need to use it, I will. And it was covenant, sacred contract. So some of you guys are really being called to do a soul contract, a life mission that you came on this earth to do. And maybe you're more aware of it now, or you're just coming into your consciousness of like, you know, something that you feel deep in your soul. And I think that is the biggest almost relief you get, is when you feel like you're authentically living out your purpose, whatever it is. And there's different answers. Like I said, there's no right one way to live life. That would be crazy. Everyone has different gifts, goals, talents, just like I meant the metaphor of the different ice cream. Like everyone has different soul goals, soul contracts that often use their unique talents, gifts, whatever they are good at to serve the collective. And I think, so if you're a writer, maybe writing books, even if they're imaginative and they're not self-help or anything like that, but maybe that inspires and lifts the collective vibration and makes people feel imaginative and gives them a sense of adventure. Or maybe if you're a really good cook, opening a restaurant that gives people a sense of comfort. Or maybe if you are really spiritual and you like to pull tarot, or maybe it's even just starting a family or starting a business that gives people a great salary and helps them, and whatever the case may be. But we all have these important soul objectives that oftentimes it's talents that we developed in past lives, knowledge we developed in past lives that we're supposed to share with others. And when you actually fully align with that and start serving your purpose with the collective, the sense of fulfillment is so deep. And actually, they've done studies on this about longevity, and they found that people who have that sense of purpose, which I would call that, it's like filling out your life mission, fulfilling one of your life purposes on this planet, that is so correlated. I think it's the number one thing correlated with longevity and living longer, which is health. So your physical health can actually literally improve from being aligned with a purpose and from knowing what it is that you're supposed to do and knowing that you're living it out, knowing that this is not, you're not wasting your time on earth. Because I think sometimes when people aren't living in their purpose, they just have this overhanging dread hanging over them of like, time's ticking and I just know I'm not doing this right. I don't know how I'm not doing it right, but I just know I'm not doing this. I know that I'm not doing what I came here to do and I'm kind of wasting time. And there's nothing wrong with like wasting a little time in this lifetime. We don't have to be perfect. We get to come back. But by the same token, it's so great and we get to level up on the rung and like and kind of tick that off and get higher to maybe ascending to another level of not just being human, the more we fulfill our actual goal. And we kind of looking at it like, you know how those game shows, like, I don't know, The Amazing Race or stuff, where they'll give them like a task, and if they fulfill it, they get closer to like winning the grand prize. That's kind of like that, I guess, is how I would describe it. Anyway, so I feel like for you guys, this is your call to have confidence in whatever this is you've been called to do and to really step towards it. And I feel like what's coming towards you that's going to be a really surprising blessing is that more and more you're going to have the confidence and the self-esteem and the boundaries, and you're going to feel empowered to start saying no to people that aren't in alignment with that and to start saying yes to the things that are. So if in the past you would, go back and forth and be like, well, I'm going to be a people pleaser. My mom always wanted me to be a dentist. I don't like anything about dentistry, but I could never make it as an artist, so I'm not going to do this. Or maybe vice versa. You've always felt like in your friend group, you were supposed to be an artist and all your friends were doing art and it came easy to you, but you really love helping people with health and you'd love to be a dentist and help clean out plaque and make their mouths healthy. And that's something you feel called to do, but you're like, it's too late. Like I can't go back to school. And this is your calling to step into that. Whatever it is, like I said, there's no wrong answer as long as you're raising vibrations and helping people in some way and it's a positive feeling, then there is no wrong answer, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. But listen to your heart, because only you can hear that. That's why it's called the calling. No one else can pick up the phone and translate it for you. I even find during private readings, a lot of times people were like, can you tell me my life purpose? And I've always found, and I always warn them beforehand, I'm like, I can try and I can look into it and we'll see. But so much of the time, for some reason, spirit wants to block. And I've heard that from other mediums and psychics as well, is like, I don't know what it is, but I think there's something to be said for figuring it out. And part of that, there's some part of the process or the soul contract where you have to be the one to really discover it. You have to be the one to really hear it. Like of all the questions that they let us answer, that just seems to be the one that kind of is somewhat off limits, or they'll give you like flashes and some insight, but they really want you to figure it out, because I truly think that's part of the journey. It's part of the process is kind of like finding it. And actually that's part of the goal of achieving it, is just being able to actually listen enough to hear, being able to actually, kind of do the treasure hunt of like revealing what it is and starting to trust that process and listen to your intuition and listen to what spirit is telling you. And I think when you guys step into this, whatever it is, you're going to feel a lot more freedom. And this is also a message to some of you guys that if you're already on this path and you've already taken the risk and started stepping towards this, that your guides are so happy and proud of you, and that you guys are serving and helping the collective so much. And they're just so pleased with everything you're doing. And it's going to unfold more and more and more. And they just want you, like I said, to trust the process and trust what's going on, because it's heading to such a really beautiful direction. So anyways, I think that is what I have for you guys. Pile 2, I really hope that resonates. Let me know if it does in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts and your memories and your reflections on things. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button if it does resonate, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on, hit the little bell so you can find out as soon as I post next. And if you guys want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon, where you will get access to all my additional readings. When you sign up, you get access to over 55 additional readings about love, career, spirituality, future lives, past lives, relocation, family, friends, money, so many different topics to choose from. So if you guys would like to see those, then like I said, head on over to the link for my Patreon. And I just posted a reading all about how you can improve your spiritual gifts and better use them to serve the collective. So you guys definitely might be interested in that. Like I said, if you want to sign up and get access to everything, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description for my Patreon. And if you guys want to see or get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. You can have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship or intuitively, and you can get a half-hour reading or a full hour-long reading. You can pretty much ask me whatever you want within reason. I keep it very open-ended. So if you'd like to get one of those, like I said, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link is in my description for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked this dreams card, this is going to be your reading. For your other cards, you guys got horned cactus, resourcefulness, eye of the needle, intentionality, heart home, compassion, horseman, herald of change, and mindful group think. So you guys in pile 3 are going to be having a breakthrough soon. Something you have wanted for a really long time is finally going to arrive, come to fruition, come to completion. So if there's been something that you have had as a goal or a milestone or something you have just been wanting for a really long time, had in your mind, this is going to happen for you soon, and it's going to happen big. I feel like a lot of you guys, it's going to feel almost like a relief. And in a weird way, there may be no like balloons or, you know, someone celebrating and like screaming with excitement and champagne bottles popping. But I feel like this is a big milestone, and to you, it's proof of how powerful you are. And it feels like this is setting you on a trajectory for more achievement in this area. So it's almost like this is just the beginning. If there was some goal you wanted with whatever this is, it's going to be just the start. So it's not like this is, okay, the final thing, and then this is wrapping up and it's ending. It feels like it is a stepping stone along the way, and you're just going to get better and better and better at this area, and you're going to be gaining confidence. Some of you guys are going to be considered authorities in this area, or people are going to really notice how competent you are. They're going to be drawn to you. They're going to see what a really great job you guys are doing. People are going to be noticing you and paying attention to you more than ever in this area. We did get mindful group think. So a lot of people are going to be, like I said, paying attention to you and have their name on your lips. So people are going to be talking about you, noticing you. You are going to be the center of attention, but in a really good, positive way. It's like people just kind of can't get enough of you at this time. And if there's a goal you have been working on in silence and kind of like keeping it to yourself, there may come a breakthrough moment where more people become aware aware of you, or people start noticing it in a way they didn't in the past, and they might just start talking or noticing this for the first time. So if like maybe you've been trying to improve your health in some way, maybe you've been on like a weight loss journey and it's felt like no one really was noticing, and you're like, I'm working hard on this, but I have this goal weight or something, or I have this fitness goal, but it just seems like everyone seems to think I'm the same. Maybe people will start asking, what's going on? Did you lose some weight, or have you been hitting the gym, or have you been eating really healthy or something? But people are going to finally pay attention of it. And if that happens, you might have also people like complimenting your body and being like, oh my gosh, by the way, you look amazing lately. Like, you look so good. What have you done differently? And even talking about it among their friends or family. Or if you have a career goal, you might become the top of the office or get some promotion that everyone is like aware of and noticing, and you get, some kind of feature in the company, and they do like a little email to everyone being like, oh, meet our regional manager, pile 3. They, successfully completed this mission. And I don't know, but I feel like people are going to be talking about you and noticing you. And for some of you guys, you're achieving big dreams that you guys set out to achieve long ago and maybe didn't even think was possible at one point in your life. And I feel like this is really teaching you about your personal power. Like, it's almost like after this point, people can't tell you anything. You know what I mean? I'm hearing can't tell me nothing. So I feel like a lot of people after this point, it's like if there's someone who tries to come in with negative energy or tries to be a downer or tries to make you feel like you can't really do something, after this point, it's like it really changes your opinion of yourself, and you are suddenly like, don't even talk to me, don't even look at me, because I just got employee of the month, or I just, succeeded in my fitness goals. Now I completed 100 bar classes and my name is on the bar class studio. Like, and so I like, don't even try to talk to me. Don't even try to tell me anything, because I know how great I am. And again, I feel like this confidence really radiates out from you. And like I said, other people are noticing it. So maybe this is what shifts it, but it's like, I feel like physically you guys are really glowing. There's an opportunity for love. There's an opportunity for romance. Because again, so many people are just noticing you on a physical level and being drawn to this confident energy you're giving off. It's like you have such a sense of self-esteem from whatever this whatever this goal getting achieved, because I do feel like there's a message that just started coming through really strong. So like I just want to channel this. And they are saying that some of you guys never thought you could achieve this. Like, there was a time when you were really doubting this and you were really like, yeah, like this is some goal pie in the sky. Like, I really want this, but it's almost like they're saying you didn't believe it at the time. Like, when you were asking for it, you kind of were halfway, like, yeah, you said it, but you didn't mean it. You know how sometimes someone's like, oh, well, I'm gonna marry a millionaire, but you can just feel that they don't resonate with it. Like, I think it's funny sometimes when someone's trying to manifest something, and like they're trying to say like, I'm rich, but you can just feel the energy that they really doubt that. They can't even conceive of themselves as a rich person. Or they're saying like, I have lots of romantic partners and everyone loves me, but you can just feel that they have this inner lack of self-worth and they don't mean it. And Spirit's kind of calling you out, because Spirit's kind of saying like, you didn't believe this at a certain point. This seemed to you out of the realm of possibility, or so far from what could actually happen for you. And like, look how much you guys did. Look how far you came. And it does feel like this new label that's going to be on you is going to give you even more confidence, because after this point, it's some level that you're reaching that like no one can cast doubt on you. Now you have that status, or you have some kind of thing about you that is going to, like I said, garner respect in the eyes of others, or make people treat you kind of differently in a good way. So I feel like this allows you to come in with more confidence towards everything. And people are wanting to date you, is what I'm hearing. People are wanting to be around you. People are wanting to befriend you. People are wanting to, invite you to things. It's like people can't get enough of you at this time, because they are really in awe as well. Like, I feel like you're going to have people from your past life that are like, I don't even recognize this version of pile 3. Like, I never would have thought this was a possibility for them either. Like, just as much as you doubted it, other people doubted you and your ability to achieve this. And they are kind of blown away like, oh my God, pile 3, they actually did it. Like they said they were going to do it and they actually did it. I can't believe this. So it's kind of a wake-up call for everyone who's been doubting you, including yourself. Let's get into the tarot cards. So we got the Page of Cups. We got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. We got the Hermit, and we got the King of Cups reversed. And we got the World card. So the World card is a completion card. It is the final card in the major arcana that puts an end to that card, that cycle of the journey through the major arcana. So with the World card coming in, it's such a celebratory, positive, happy card, and it really shows that you've mastered all the different elements. It shows all the different fixed signs as well. So it shows that you have a level of mastery, you've achieved it, and it shows this dancing figure celebrating this moment. So again, I feel like Spirit is also telling you, don't miss out on celebrating this achievement for yourself. You might even try going out to celebrate. And heck, even if this is a little far off, some of you guys might try, what I'm hearing from Spirit is some of you guys should try going out and celebrating now, like celebrating it early, you know, like Spirit is bringing to my mind one year when I was living in a brand new city and I didn't really have any friends in that city, obviously. So I ended up making a birthday cake for myself, just cooking the birthday cake for myself, you know, doing the whole 9 yards, putting a little candle in it, because it's like, I was like, well, no one else is here to celebrate with me. I mean, I think I had some friends in that city, and I guess we went out for drinks, but like I wasn't super close with them. I didn't really feel like having like a big party, and I had this tiny studio apartment. So I was like, I got to do something on my actual day, you know, like I don't have any of my close friends or anything. So I made myself a big birthday cake and I blew it out. I blew out the candles. I mean, I'm never going to miss an opportunity to make a wish on a candle. Love that. So I was like, I'm celebrating this regardless. I'm not missing out on a birthday wish. But that's my point, is sometimes you got to celebrate yourself. And even before it happens, like for some of you guys, maybe this is about, you know, getting yourself a bottle of champagne, even if it's the cheap stuff from the grocery store, or maybe splurging if you can afford it on like a really nice champagne. And even if you got to be the only one celebrating your achievements, even if you don't have anyone else who's cheering you on, even if you're doing this all by yourself with the Hermit, and this has been a hard path for you and no one has had your back and you have been on your own, fighting, working your way through the wilderness, feeling like I'm on my own in this and I like no one's for me, then go out and celebrate it even more. And then that should be even more of a reason that you are celebrating yourself and you are celebrating all the things you achieved and that you did for yourself. Spirit is reminding you of that. You did this. Like this is a big milestone moment. So even if this hasn't happened quite yet, you might be able to speed up the process and the timeline by celebrating early. So maybe going out and getting that champagne, even if this is before this has happened. Like maybe you guys are, maybe you set like a business goal, you know, maybe you had a career goal of like, I want to have this many clients, or I want to have this many sales. And even though you haven't reached that yet, you're getting close. And even though you don't have that exact number, maybe accept and acknowledge that this is yours, that you are going to hit that moment, that you have done this, you made it happen, and then go out and celebrate and go out to a nice restaurant and get yourself a really pretty cute drink. When I was in this city, they had the most amazing cocktails, and I would go out to the mixology bars, and then I would like talk to the mixologist and tell them exactly what I like to drink, which was always floral. So I always wanted a flower in the drink, and then kind of sweet. Sometimes if I was feeling spicy, but I'd always want it a little sweet. And I'm just thinking like they would make the prettiest drinks, like purple drinks with a purple matching flower, and you kind of flirt with the mixologist and have a fun night. And sometimes you can go out with friends, but you know, sometimes it's okay to go out by yourself. My point is, if no one's celebrating you, go out and do something to celebrate yourself. Even if you don't drink or whatever, go out and order yourself a nice dessert from a cafe, or go out and make yourself, you know, go out to eat or do something to spoil yourself, because I feel like it's almost like the earlier you celebrate this, the more you get into that mindset of it's done, I did it, I made this happen, however you want to celebrate, but make sure you take time to do that, because that's really going to alchemize this process and and speed it up. And your guides are so happy for you for actually achieving this, because again, they will be with you. And I knew that at the time when I had that birthday by myself. I was always, it's so funny looking back now, because I guess like of, you know, having this tarot channel and stuff and like doing mediumship readings, but I used to always talk to my guides and especially my ancestors, and I would also like cut them pieces of the cake and stuff like that. So it's called ancestor worship. It's a big thing in a lot of cultures, but we don't do it in the West as much, but we should. And it's basically asking your ancestors for help and giving them offerings and asking your guides for help and like making them food or giving them a drink or giving them whatever you think they would actually like. So I remember cutting a piece of that cake for my ancestors and leaving it aside on a nice plate for them, because I knew they were around me. I knew even if I didn't have people in that city, that my ancestors had been fighting for me. They were vibing with me. They were rooting me on. They wanted me to achieve it. And so never forget that even if you don't feel like you have people in the natural around you, you have a huge team on the other side that is so with you. And I can say that from doing private readings. Everyone has a team on the other side that is rooting for them. Even if someone's like, oh, well, I'm not close to my family, or I never met my dad. It's like that does not matter at all. They are still so close to you and they are still rooting for you. And it is your ancestors. It is from your family that matters. Even if you're not close to your family, trust that on the other side, they kind of go through transformation. They learn a lot of lessons. They cleanse themselves of a lot of the negative traumas and the bad things that made them not nice to you in this lifetime. So they are rooting for you so hard on the other side, and maybe taking time out to thank them as well. If you've never talked to your ancestors, if you've never talked to your guides, if you never talked to your angels, take the time out to just be like, thank you. And this is what I'm working for. And can you guys help me with this? Because trust and believe they will, but you kind of have to invoke them and ask them and give them permission, because we do have free will. It's kind of a spiritual contract. So they can't always intervene unless we directly ask them. So make sure you're taking the time to do that. But like I was saying, I just feel like for you guys, this is about celebrating whatever this is. And this is about giving yourself that space. And yes, I do think this big milestone is happening. And like I said, I feel like people are noticing you on a whole new level. People are taking note of you. And if you've been wanting to date or wanting to go out, you guys are looking amazing right now and people are really noting it. So maybe also, even if you can't think of like a big milestone, take the time out to go grab a drink out at a cute cafe just for the sake of trying to meet people and create flow in your life. But I honestly feel like there's something so many of you in this pile should be celebrating and will be celebrating. And honestly, like I said, I just get the vibe of like taking a big breath of relief, kind of like, I finally did it. It's finally here. This moment is here. I achieved it and now I can move on. And with the Page of Cups coming in, this might also be a time in your life when you're being called to have a little bit more fun and enjoyment and kind of sit back and relax and take things a little bit easier. So if you've been feeling like you've been really having to push yourself, I think it's really interesting that the Knight of Pentacles is reversed underneath the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is definitely a card that seeks out spiritual experiences and also positive emotions, artistic things. Cups energy is not hard driving in the way the Pentacles are, and they're also not as disciplined or focused on money or focused on achievement. You know, Pentacles is much more about like, what did you do? What did you actually do in the natural and putting in hard work and stuff like that. And Cups are kind of a little more dreamier and driftier and kind of more emotional and like, I feel like this. Like Cups would be like, I feel, and then Pentacles would be I have to do, or I am, like something like that, you know, I need to, I will. It's kind of more responsible. So this might be a vibe for you that after achieving this, make sure you're taking the time out, like I said, to celebrate, to kind of pull back a little. And maybe if you've been hard driving yourself on whatever this is, pushing yourself super hard, make sure that you take the time for like a little bit of a break and to kind of pat yourself on the back and like celebrate. Because I actually feel like, again, this celebratory, positive, relaxed energy is going to bring in whatever this achievement is faster. So the more you can kind of chill out and enjoy and go and have fun, then you are going to actually bring in a more positive energy. Like I notice even when I film my readings, like if I get too disciplined and I'm just too like, I gotta film, and I get really disciplined and kind of hyper focused, then the videos don't always do as well. And when I take the time out to go see friends, to go have a drink, or to go like, I know it sounds probably like I drink all the time. I actually really don't drink very often, but once in a while I think it's fun. But anyway, but if I take the time out to make sure I go do things I love, even reading a book. Like sometimes, you're just rushing around, you're like, I don't have time to read. But I just read like this fun fiction book the other day and I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. And it puts you in a positive vibe and it puts you in a happy mindset. And sometimes we try to be too disciplined or we try to be too focused on like, okay, I have to do this and I have to do that and blah, blah. And there's no room in our life for like happiness and joy and positivity. So making sure that you actively carve out that time and you're actively making sure you're looking after your emotional self and not just pushing yourself too hard, I think is going to be something your guides want for you. So, seeking out positive things that will make you feel good, making sure that you're not completely working to the exclusivity of other things, and you're also not like holed up in your room in total hermit mode, and you're actually like going out and talking to people and seeing the world and walking around and seeing the beauty of the world in this current season. I just love, the greenery out right now. You guys know how much I love greenery. I always talk about it. It makes me so happy. But, I think it makes a lot of people happy. And so making sure you take the time to enjoy this period in your life, whatever is happening around you, I think is going to be really crucial. So let's get into some more cards. We got reconciliation, finding, trust, and blessing. So I got the message that for some of you guys, you might have people from your past that you've tried to cut out that might be seeing this big accomplishment. You might have people that you've cut off, or even people that might try to crawl their way back into your life, or people that maybe the relationship fell off a little and they see how well you're doing and they're just like, let me try to get back in touch with pile 3, because I feel like so many people are noticing you. And I'm hearing that line from, I think, Post Malone, Congratulations, where he's like, now they always say congratulations, work so hard I forgot how to vacation, but that's not the line. But I'm thinking of, it's like oh yeah, that's the line. Okay, where he's like, my mama called, said you on TV. And then it's basically saying someone from like high school or something calls and is like, my mom said you're on TV, can I get tickets to your show? And like suddenly someone that where it fell off in the past, this person wasn't that interested in them, they see his status and his clout and then they're like, oh, let me sneak back into this person's life. You might have some experience with that. You might be looking so good that you get contacted by people from your past that are like, ooh, you might have an ex that contacts you that's like, dang, you're looking amazing. Or you might have, friends that you cut off or family members that you put a little distance with, and suddenly they see you reach a milestone and suddenly they want to pick up that phone and text you and like, let's meet up. And I feel like you guys are more than equipped to handle that. It can be totally up to you which way you choose to move with that. But it's okay if you're like, nah, I'm good. I want a different energy in my life and I don't really want to meet up with you. Because again, I feel like a lot of you guys have had to kind of fight through this yourself. You've had to really bring yourself up and push for yourself and advocate for yourself and make your own choices. So I feel like you might not be as open to like reopening some of those relationships. Like to you, they feel like they've run their course. And even though you're flattered and you're like, oh, that's nice that it's good to hear from you. You're like, I'm past that. But I do think the choice is going to be up to you. And it's going to mean a lot to you that so many people are noticing and seeing the things you guys are doing and kind of like in awe of you. Like I feel like for some of you guys, you're going to have a totally new status. You're going to have people that are taking note of you for the first time. Maybe they dismissed you in the past. Maybe they didn't think of you as like a threat or a factor, or they didn't think of you as someone who was that great. And suddenly they just see you like glowed up, doing amazing, and they might be reconsidering. They might even be in like a bitter or jealous energy, but I feel like a lot of them are admiring and respecting you. I feel like Spirit is saying, if there's some of you guys might have been on the fence about either like taking a vacation, or like I said, it's like this celebratory energy that your guides want you to seek out. So maybe you were thinking of going out to do something or spending some money on like a big ticket purchase to celebrate, and Spirit's like, go ahead and do that. Like, you'll be good, you'll be okay. But I feel like Spirit really wants you to take this moment in and to actually embrace it and to actually kind of bathe in the feeling of success, because again, they're like, no one else did it from you. And I bet this took you guys a while, and it feels like you had doubters, people that didn't see this coming. And I just looked at my like watch thing, and it was 2222. So again, you guys, more confirmation, an angel number coming in to remind you that you are doing so amazing, so good. But I do feel that like I said, it was a hard time. It was a long time coming, and there was a lot of people that didn't see this vision, and you were the one who had to hold it very singularly. And I am getting a message that after you reach this milestone, things might get easier in this sector. So if you were like, oh, I have a health goal I want to reach, then maybe after this point, like you're so healthy and you were doing fitness classes every day for like a month, and now you're super strong and you can just get through your fitness routines easier. Or maybe you wanted to reach a sales goal, and then once you reach that, your boss is like, by the way, like I want to give you this extra contact list of other really big ticket clients, so call these. And then that becomes easier. Or just like you get a bunch more referrals, or you get some certification that you can put on your name next to the like company website, and then people are like, oh, you're a certified blah blah blah. Oh, okay, cool, wow, I didn't know that, because you have sales over a certain amount, or you know what I mean. But there's something that is going to, like, I feel like really allow things to flow easier and allow you to have, like I said, the recognition and the status that you guys deserve. Let me get a couple extra cards from this tarot deck. What else is going to be a welcome surprise for pile? The Devil reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed. So for some of you guys, this may also be overcoming like bad habits or overindulgences. It may be that you are getting over, like in the past, you would overindulge, or you would be lazy in a certain area, or you would be kind of dysfunctional about certain things. With the Queen of Cups, and it did come out over the King of Cups reversed, it can also be someone who has bad emotional regulation, or someone who's overly emotional to the point where they're like, I'm in a bad mood today, I'm not going into work, I'm just going to call a mental health day and I'm just going to eat this entire cake. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily the smartest or the best way to handle emotions. We can just let emotions flow through us. So that might be another change you guys are going through, is that you're learning to be a little bit more stoic, or you're learning to manage your emotions more. You're learning to be a little bit more strong within your emotional self, and not give in to like, oh, I feel really bad in this moment, so I'm going to do this self-destructive thing, or I'm going to do this, you know, dumb thing. The Devil card can definitely talk about addictions, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like a serious addiction. It can be a shopping addiction. It can be anything we do to like a food addiction. It can be anything we do to like take ourselves out of the moment rather than just facing it head on and letting the feelings run through us and dealing with it. And I feel like you guys are really mastering that. So you might be leaving behind bad habits and really reframing your life into a more disciplined energy. But I feel like, again, there is that message that, you know, you don't have to go completely one way or the other. It doesn't have to just be like, I'm going to completely give into my emotions and I'm going to sit in bed and cry for the next 2 days and just literally eat my weight in potato chips. It can, or I'm not going to listen to my emotions at all and I'm just going to be laser focused. It's like okay to loosen the reins up a little bit, and it's okay to seek out things that are very positive for you, that make you feel good, that feel productive, but are also allowing you to have a little fun and look after your emotions, you know? So it doesn't have to be one way or the other, and you don't have to overindulge or underindulge. You can indulge just a like right amount, celebrate yourself in the right way, and make sure you're taking the time out for fun and still live up to your obligations. But I do feel like this is a call for real fun and for you guys to like like I said, celebrate, do whatever you can to really bask in this moment and bask in this glow you're in, because it feels like this is something that honestly in your life is just such a milestone. Like you could just shout it from the rooftops. And like I said, I'm hearing from spirit, it's just the beginning. Like you're just getting started. And even though you've come a long way, you're going to go even further. So also kind of like slow and steady, in the sense of like sometimes we can get so focused on an end goal that we don't focus on the milestones in between. We don't take the time to celebrate the little things, the each step along the way. We just kind of focus on like, I want to go there, when the reality is that life is a journey and we should stay present in the moment and celebrate each step along the path. And the more we celebrate those journey moments in between, the faster we actually get to our destination, the more we step into the energy of achievement and already being there and all the goodness. So yeah, I hope that makes sense and resonates for you, pile 3. If it did, let me know in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts and stories and reflections. So definitely let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure to hit the thumbs up button, give this reading a like if it did resonate with you, and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. Hit that little bell so you can find out as soon as I post next. And if you guys want to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about how you can use your spiritual gifts and improve them to better serve the collective. So that one's a really good one. And when you sign up, you get access to over 55 additional readings about love, career, money, spirituality, family, friends, future life, past lives, so many different topics to choose from. So if you guys want to see those, like I said, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments for my Patreon. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, channel mediumship or intuitively. You can really ask me whatever you want within reason, and I will answer for you. So if you guys want to get a reading with me, like I said, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back very soon for another reading. So take care, guys, and I will see you then. Bye.